guys, it's the Goddess Complex. Welcome to the Siege session. How are you? Okay, so I posted on Instagram a couple days ago. I was gonna do this over on Zoom, but I don't know. I wasn't sure Zoom or do I want to do this one. My heart was on Zoom, but I was like, why not just upload it to YouTube? Why not? So the book I was discussing, I've actually had this book, and this was actually a gift, I think, for my 25th or 26th birthday. The book is called The Hour That Changes the World: A Practical Plan for Personal Prayer by Dick Eastman and forward by Joni Eckerson. Tada. Yes, actually Tada. Last name's Tada. As you can see, I've had this book for years. And it's a good reference book just to go back. It is more so geared towards on a religious. It's actually it's both actually. It's religious, it's kind of postmodern, but also spiritual. So it's a combination of everything. So you do get some of everything. Literally some of everything. And also it's just very intellectual based, information based. There's things for your, just to kind of change your perspective and just kind of really give you some motivation. Okay, so to break this book down, I think I'm going to have to do it like this because it really, literally breaks it down in different sections. Of course, it deals with prayer, and if you're not super religious, you do know even stating affirmation and just like words, how powerful words are. Words are powerful. If you didn't know, you know now. But yeah, how powerful words are. So if you're not into prayer, even this you can actually translate it to if you're more spiritual, you can translate it. That's one reason I do like this book. Even though, yes, the tone of it is more so religious, but you can translate it into more spiritual. And even if you're not spiritual nor religious, you can interpret it in a way where it just intellectually, it heightens your everyday kind of routines, especially to kind of motivate and inspire you, especially for like motivation, inspiration, encouragement, focus. It's a lot of different things. So I'm going to show you this page, this right here. This is what chapter is this? I want to say this is chapter 1, but it's page 27. So if you have this book, now this is just the paperback. It does come in the other one. So like I said, this book has been around for years. I got this at I was like 25 or 26 years old. I'm 32 now. How you doing? Black don't crack. No, it doesn't. This is actually when I got this book, it was the 25th anniversary edition. So this book has been around a long time, a very long time, and I've had it for years. So I like to go back, and this is one of the books I like to reference. Okay, so I think what I'm going to have to do just to really break it down, because it is a lot of information. For it to be kind of a small book, it's just jam-packed with a lot of wisdom. So I'm just going to go ahead and break down some of the... I did my nails. Aren't you proud of me? Sparkle, sparkle. It's going to break it down. And this one particular section is what I just kind of was geared to first. So it's definitely section 1. It deals with, section 1 and section 2. So in all, the way they have it, they have this kind of, this charting system where they break down literally each chapter. So chapter 1, it goes over just the general information about prayer and kind of what the book is actually going to go over. So they have everything from praise, waiting, confession, scripture praying, watching, intercession, petition, which is something I talked about a couple videos ago. Also, the art of thanksgiving, singing, meditation, listening, praise. And yes, there's 12. Literally, you can take one chapter and focus on each month of the year. So you can do it like that each week. My little Florida water didn't fell down. Oops. Hopefully it didn't crack open. Oopsie. But yeah, you can do it like that. You can take 12 weeks and do a 12-week, everything from journaling, just a 12-week focus. So for each chapter, once a week, you would read that chapter. You would review it. There's some different techniques for each chapter, for each portion. Like I said, and then even with the pie chart, they actually give you scriptures and stuff like that. So a lot of Timothy, Jeremiah, a lot of Psalms. Psalms is a very powerful book now. Very powerful. That's a very powerful book, especially for protection and just what would you call that, protection, and just really covering of yourself. Psalms is good. A lot of people, spiritual or religious, love that book. I don't know a person that don't love Psalms. I'm sorry. The most witchiest of witch people I've seen love Psalms. So that is a very powerful book of the Bible. But also it gives you different educational tools as well. So, but just to break everything down before we get into the actual book, spirituality and what it is basically. We already know what religion is. You know, we already know that part. But of course, spirituality, like I said, this particular book actually merges both. And also it even merges, just even if you're not spiritual, it really just helps you with your everyday living. Like I said, patience, focus, dedication, like different aspects are in actually each chapter of the book. So it's actually quite interesting. Like I said, you can literally, like, when I got this book, I was like going through like a spiritual awakening. So I really was like back and forth with my faith and stuff like that. So it was kind of like, this book was just like really helpful right on time. And I actually got it for my birthday. If you don't know, I like books. I like books. I have a tablet full of them. I like books. I have other books on top of books. And I just bought 2 cookbooks today. I like books. Okay, so also, like, just to break down spirituality and what it is, right? Spirituality, and it is termed and coined the quality of being concerned with the human spirit or soul as opposed to material or physical things. So you're more, when you hear someone say, well, I'm more 5D than 3D. 3D deals with the number 8. It deals with material goods and things that we can touch, and things that are of material value. Like, if you're keeping up with the Joneses, normally you're wearing the latest trends, the latest clothes, having the latest car, things dealing with the kind of worldly, or I won't say sinful, because even God wants you to have good things, but just kind of the earthly goods, instead of being more so internally with the spiritual goods, with your spiritual side. How about that? Okay. Also, it also is termed being dedicated to God, religion, or spiritual things or values, especially as contrast with material or temporal ones. Their definition, not mine. Also, the condition or quality of being spiritual. So that is spirituality, and it's like literally dealing with your internal soul, what you're connecting to your higher self, connecting to God if you believe in God, or even to believe in divine or a higher power or some type of source, right? Anything that's outside your typical human materialistic urges, material goods, or anything that is of physical value. It's more so, this is more so intellectual, internal value, basically. Okay, also, spiritual tools. That's something else we're going to get into. Like I said, the biggest thing first is that's why I wanted to start with this particular book. Wisdom, knowledge, that's the most powerful thing you can ever have. I don't care how religious you are. I don't care how spiritual you are. I don't care if you're an atheist. Wisdom. What you speak is powerful. So just remember that aspect, whether you believe in God or not. What you speak, whether you do affirmation, whether you do prayer, that just having that knowledge, and also taking that knowledge and speaking it through prayer, through affirmation, or even just through just your everyday language and lingo, and your everyday, I say daily talk, whether it's with yourself or even with people around you or in your life, whatever. Even through social media. Those things, like I said, those things account. So starting with prayer. And like I said, we're going to get into that portion, and then, like I said, in a couple other videos, I'm going to break down the other ones, because like I said, there's 12 of them. So each week you literally can go through, or each month, you can take just to dedicate, like one's dealing with patience, one's dealing with prayer. And like with prayer, for a lot of people, it's a little different. Like I said, I work with angels. I work with divine. I work with the light. So I'm literally a light worker, and I'm also a divine light worker. Let's put it like that. So I believe in God. I believe in a higher source, because He's my Father. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? I belong to Him. I belong to Him. Believe it or not. You know, you have whole humans, earth angels here on earth. But anyway, like I said, I still have that aspect to me. That's me. And of course, other people are different, but you can interpret this religious. Like I said, it has a religious tone to it, but not really. As you're reading through, it has somewhat of a religious tone, but you can actually take this and transfer it and interpret it into more so a spiritual or even a non-religious or spiritual aspect. You just use it for daily motivation. Okay? Okay, so far as spiritual tools, other than, of course, prayer, wisdom, and knowledge, you actually have specific things, and I've already did one sage session a couple videos ago, about 2 or 3 months ago. With the different tools you can use, sage and things to keep yourself cleansed and protected as well. But there's other goods and things that you can also use as well. Okay, but spiritual tool. What is a spiritual tool? And there's different ones. You have non-material, and then of course you have material. Like I said, sage and everything that's material. Sage, incense, crystals, talisman, candles, all that stuff is considered physical spiritual tools. You have herbs and all this other type of herbs and with brick dust, all this everything. Florida waters, cleansing waters, sea salts and stuff like that. That's considered physical tools. Okay. Now prayer, affirmations, and just daily talks. I know a lot of people like to do the mirror works. You speak into the mirror and stuff like that with affirmation, mirror gazing, which you have to be careful with. Got to be real careful, very careful, right? But you can speak into the mirror. I know a lot of people like to use mirror magic and all this type of stuff. But just looking at yourself in the mirror and just speaking positively, that's a tool, and that is considered a physical tool as well. But yeah, that's a physical tool, but also it's a technique. It's a special technique that you have to be really careful with. You'll mess around and be, speaking to something you don't think. It may look like you, but it ain't you. You know what I'm saying? You'll be speaking like that. But yeah, non-material, and I had to really look a little while back for this right here. I've been working on this right here for just a little bit, and I wanted to share it when I was guided to share it. But non-material. It's a situation-specific processes proven over time and across cultures to change attitude or awareness and promote quality of life. So, like literally affirmations that we quote, even in school, especially in grade school. I don't think the kids do it now, but standing up and saying, let's say, I know we had to do the MLK speeches and all these different affirmation and quotes. I am somebody. All this different type of stuff, and I know they do it. Like over in India and stuff, of course they have like their different prayers and affirmations and chants and things that they do over there. Same thing over in Japan, same thing over in Korea and China, same thing over in Africa and stuff like that. They have different chants and everything they would do, especially in the morning, which a lot of people have rituals, especially the children. I don't know whether they do. I know we used to do that. We used to sing the what would you call it? Pledge of Allegiance. And then we would state like this other like stuff, and I am somebody, and all this type of stuff. So saying that, a lot of it is cultural. So in the Western world over here in America, completely different. Of course, in India they have their own chants. Japan, they definitely have their own setup and system. So it's a lot of different stuff. So those are considered non-material tools, and it does change your attitude, and especially affirmations, prayers, and stuff in the morning. Like I said, when I was working down at the hospital, every morning I will go and I will say a prayer, go to the little quiet bathroom or whatever, or go in the stairwell, say my prayer, everything, get everything right, and it does shape and change your energy and your attitude. So, and like I said, a lot of people get up in the morning. It just depends on your routine or ritual in the morning. A lot of people like to pray in the morning, but I would definitely pray before I left that house. Just know that. And when I got to work, I prayed again. Also affirmations. And just different things like that as well. Just to kind of like, it does literally shift your energy and change your mind. Also, like I said, it does change the quality of your life. But also, it's to nurture your divine spirit to create a more prosperous and it's supposed to be healthy life, but health life. It says health life, but healthy life. So yes, it does change the quality of life. When I don't talk to my father, when I don't talk to the elders and ancestors and stuff like that, it feels like a build up. It builds up into like a little fist. You know what I'm saying? Like just a ball of energy basically. And using non-spiritual, which is wisdom, knowledge, information, affirmation, and just really stating and taking that and stating prayers, because your prayer is completely different from somebody else. How they pray is theirs. How you pray, or even how you even speak, just period. Like I said, you don't have to be religious, and you don't even have to be spiritual, but just how you speak in general. How you speak. I'm going to keep saying that. How you speak in general really sets the tone for your attitude and just your energy. You attract better things if you're speaking positively. You're not going to be positive 100% of the time, but just speaking in a certain way, you bring that to you. You know what I'm saying? You bring that to you, and you also shield yourself from a lot of things as well. But yes, so we're going to get into this particular portion of the book. And like I said, I don't want to make this 15 minutes already. I didn't want to make it super long, so I went ahead and kind of read over everything. Like I said, I'm going to break down each one. Like I said, after this, we'll have 11 more. And see, for this particular one, well, these particular two. Now, praise, we already know, like giving honor, literally, to divine, to God. Like I said, whatever you believe in, elders, ancestors, you can interpret this book in more than one way. All right. So just giving praise. If, like I said, even if you don't believe in one God or the God, that's your choice. But like even giving honor to ancestors, your loved ones who have, of course, who keep you safe and protected, especially if you're connected to an ancestor, just giving praise, period. Also giving praise to those who are around you right now. You can, like I said, you can take this and interpret it. It can help you actually with building relationships and friendships, and even just relationships with people. You know what I'm saying? Like your love language is just dealing with people. Whether it's in a relationship, friendship, association with people, just your general language with people. So also, like I said, praising. Of course, this deals with more so the spiritual aspect of it. But like I said, you can interpret it and break it down. It just depends on how you want to use this information. But like I said, just praising and just speaking, saying thank you to your elders and ancestors, saying thank you to divine and God. If you know you have angels helping you, just say thank you. They can hear you. Just thank you, angels. If you know them by name, say it. Like I said, and just daily, building that up daily. Like I said, sometimes God just wants us to hear Him. Well, He wants to just hear us and talk to Him. But remember to give praise. And like I said, and it says with this one, recognize God's nature. Especially if you know divine is like protecting you. If you know that divine is working, you just know. It's just, whether you believe in God or not. You have people, especially now, kind of stepping back and be like, okay, there's something else here. There's something watching over me. There's something extra. Just like you just say thank you. Just being thankful. And they go over the chapter 8, which is Thanksgiving, in this particular book. So we'll get to that later on. Like I said, this is actually a pretty good book. But like praise, as far as my notes, and if you have this book, this is page 29 when they first introduced the actual charting system that they have. Praise, acknowledging divine and like your angels, ancestors, elders, ascending masters. If you know you have beings and energies and things of that nature actually working with you and everything, acknowledging them. You have to acknowledge that. And like I said, sometimes people aren't comfortable, and it's okay if you're not comfortable. You kind of get comfortable. And there's people who aren't comfortable praying. They don't know how to pray or something like that, or they're just not used to it, or they're not even used to just, like I said, lighting the candles at their altar and just speaking to God and to divine and divine spirits and different, like I said, ascended masters and elders and everything. They're not used to it, or even their loved ones that have crossed up. They can hear you. Light a white candle, especially you clear it, cleanse it up, sage it and everything, clean it up real good. Especially on Sundays, you bring your white candle, especially when you give your offering. Yeah, like they can hear you. I got all these ancestors in this backside, so yeah, they hear. They're very here, much so here. Your ancestors are here. All this. Look at the chains that have been broken. That's going to be in the next video. I do want to talk about that one, but just acknowledging God, acknowledging divine, the angels, the ancestors. There's a network. There's a team. There's all kind of guides. If you know you have guides, you speak with guides. Acknowledge them. Acknowledge them. Call them. If you know them by name, say their name. Say their name like Destiny Child's, honey. They can hear you. Okay. Say their names. So I say 18. My 18, my angel team, the 18 elders, ancestors, and ascending masters. Yeah. Say, acknowledge them. Say their name. Like, say thank you. And if you know that they've been helping you with your health, they've been helping you with protection, acknowledge what they've been helping you with. Acknowledge what they've been helping you with. Also, they speak about waiting, which is in chapter 2. That's the biggest one. Like I said, praise, we already know. It's just acknowledging your elders and your ancestors, the ascended masters, the angels, the guardians, the guides, the beings and spirits and things like that. They come around you. They keep you and your family safe. Acknowledge. Just acknowledging them and giving them that praise. That's acknowledging, say, I know that you are here. I know that you are connected to me. I know that you are working in my honor and my favor. And that really keeps you connected to them. Okay? Also, because you don't want to be ungrateful. No. If you know you have beings from the higher realms and heavens and stuff keeping you safe and stuff, you better say thank you. You better acknowledge. You better say something. Say something. Because they right there, like, say something. Especially when you're sleeping. You know, when everybody else is projecting around you, they're right behind them. Okay, there we go. Also, waiting. Chapter 2, it deals with waiting, which is learning to practice patience with yourself, with your divine path, and also with others. Like I said, you can interpret this book and break it down to really help you. You don't have to be religious. You don't have to be spiritual. Literally, this is information. Like I said, and that goes for any book. That goes for any, if it's a religious kind of theme book, you can actually break that down and interpret it. That goes for any book. If it's more spiritual, you can literally break it down into religion. And if you're a little bit of both, like me, yes, you can interpret the way it's, you name fit. But also, like I said, this is like learning to practice patience with yourself, your divine path, and others. So, waiting, the waiting period, the separation period from, like I said, this quarantine. This is actually the waiting. This is actually what we've been going through the last couple months. This is what you call the incubation period. This is the waiting period. So in this waiting time, before you can go off into the next chapter, after you acknowledge God and everything like that, sometimes you have to wait. Okay, you have to go into a period of waiting. And in that period of waiting, you continue to praise divine, your elders, your ancestors, and you acknowledge, you can even acknowledge yourself. If you don't believe, like I said, if you don't per se believe in God and everything, that's your particular choice, but also just acknowledging your higher self, your higher consciousness and stuff like that. You can also do that as well. You can, like I said, you can do everything I just listed, but if you don't believe in God, of course, you can also do that as well. A couple of lines out of this particular passages, this particular chapter of waiting. To wait in silence is to bid farewell to earthly conversation and attention. So it basically just taking you away from distraction, taking you away away from anything that's going to go against your actual focus, especially if you know you're trying to focus on something divine, you're trying to transition, you're trying to heal, and go into that waiting period. It is not illegal to protect your energy. I think I learned that from Kevin Gates in one of his interviews. That was like something, I don't think I ever quoted that. Did I? In one of these videos? I watched that interview about 2 months ago. It's not illegal to protect your energy. So it's nothing wrong with detaching from the world. And it's, like I said, it says to wait in silence is to bid farewell to earthly conversations and attention. There is nothing wrong to go into a waiting period. You don't owe nobody no explanation, no answers. You don't owe them nothing. If you want to go away, and everybody does this naturally, by choice or by force, trust me, spirit and divine will make you go into a waiting period. So just to detach yourself, especially if you're, like I said, before quarantine, everybody they were just drained. They were drained. They were going crazy. They were this and that and this, up and down and discombobulated. And we went into quarantine. The waiting period is a hidden blessing. So this right here, actually, like I said, I was thinking about that. I was like, that's basically quarantine. That's what we're in now, the waiting period. Okay, so also it says it is the vital bridge that takes us from a carnal world, which is the 3D, to a more spiritual world. You see how the world has changed and everything? from it took a fucking, excuse my language, pandemic. I'm working on my cussing. It took a pandemic. It took an economy going going left. It took all these things just for us really to come together. And look how long we were in quarantine. Most people have not been in quarantine or any kind of structured system like that where they have to sit still in such a long time, unless they're an introvert, of course. But this right here, like I said, the waiting period, it takes you from a carnal world to a more spiritual world. A lot of people, like I said, went through spiritual awakenings. They have detached themselves from all this falsehoods and stuff like that. Things are just naturally separated. And also, we have a lot of electrical, and what is it? Astrological. There we go. Astrological changes and stuff going on, because I can feel that, and it always knocked me off my feet. The other day, it was so strong. I literally could feel a beam of just something, and it happens. Like I said, we had an eclipse. We're having a double eclipse this month. We just had an eclipse and a full moon back to back like that. That was a lot. And then I know for me, I can feel I've always been able to do that, especially when we have different changes in the just the stars and stuff like that. You can feel that energy. You can feel it changing and switching. And then we had weird weather here and stuff. And so it's all this change and stuff like that. So you can feel it. So literally the carnal world, that's the rat race. That's the everyday, especially here in the Western world. That's the rat race that we just get up, hustle, bustle, don't want to sit still, X, Y, Z, and you go into more so a spiritual state because you're waiting. So you're not distracted, you're not taken away, you're not focused on anything but literally divine yourself, bettering yourself, rest, healing. Like you're being forced to be in a very spiritual state. To align with your higher self is not an option, especially if you're gonna sit still. What you got to do? Nothing but talk to God. That's all I've been doing. That's all I've been doing, and sipping coffee and sipping tea and trying to mind my business but be my own little hero at the same time. But you also build courage and stuff up too. Once you especially once you rest. A lot of people didn't even rest. They weren't resting. They weren't eating properly. Especially with everything going on, you couldn't go get fast food, right? So guess what? You had to cook at home, right? And guess what? A lot of people lost weight, including myself. Even though I wasn't big on fast food, but I love me some French fries, though, dude. I did miss that part. But anywho, but just those were like like I said, I didn't want to really break down this whole section. We're already almost 30 minutes in, and I didn't want to make this video super long. But like I said, we're gonna have we got 10 more chapters to break down, so I am going to break down the next 2. And I think I'm just going to do it like that. So the next 2 will be confession and also scripture praying. Like I said, this book is very religious themed, but you can break it down. And even when they say scripture, also like I said, knowledge, wisdom. If you're not religious, you can still look up. There's still different aspects. If you're spiritual, there's affirmations and scriptings and all this other different stuff that you can pull from. Research and just everything. So I'm going to break that down in the next 2. So confession and also scripting, and also for waiting. Like I said, they have the little bubbles, word bubbles, and it says silent soul surrender, which is Psalms 46:10. That's under waiting. Silent soul surrender. So like I said, when you go into a period of waiting, you have no choice but to deal with God. You have no choice but to deal with yourself. You have no choice but to reflect and analyze and see where you need to fix things on yourself, and just different holes in just everything. You can get your whole life together. And if you can't get your whole life together, at least your perspective and your viewpoint of the world and kind of where you want to go will change, right? Okay, so like I said, we're almost 30 minutes in. I don't want to go all the way over. And this is a really good book. So I will be back. I'm going to break down the next 2 sections. And also, I got some other books. I'm going to get them together. I want to kind of get... There's another book that's missing, and I need to find it to recommend with this book. Also, I have a book, Learn How to Love. I forgot the author. I can't remember the author right now. I've had that book forever as well. Beautiful book. So, once I get down to, I think, chapter 8. chapter 8. But that book actually, when it deals, like I said, you can interpret this for everyday life as well. So the book is The Hour That Changes the World, A Practical Plan for Personal Prayer by Dick Eastman, forward by Joni Eckerson today. Like I said, this book has been around for a while now. Has been around a while. I want to see if there's a workbook. There may be a workbook now for this particular book. Like I said, I have a lot of ebooks and stuff I'm going to recommend. I'm also going to recommend, like I said, there's another actual physical book I've had since, oh my God, I think I bought that book in 10th grade. And it was like $2 or $3. And I bought it at some little store. But that book is really beautiful. It's meant for couples, but you can take it and internalize it for self-love and everything as well. And I've shared that book definitely on Instagram. So if you're watching this over on YouTube or even Facebook, make sure you're following me on Instagram. That's the Mecca Center of information for me. I just let everything loose over there on Instagram. So Goddess_Complex777. I am going to leave in the link below. Like, of course, YouTube, The Goddess Complex. Also, over on Facebook, which we're going to try to use that this week. We're going to try, I have my love-hate relationship with Facebook now. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's negative. But The Goddess Complex. Also on Twitter, The Goddess Complex 7. Goddess Complex 7 over there on Twitter. And, like I said, I have Anchor and Podbean. I had issues uploading the podcast to both sites. I don't know whether it's just the internet crashing. I don't know whether it maybe wasn't meant to be. I don't know. I don't know, but we're going to try. I am going to do Cards and Coffee. Like I said, with everything that was going on this week, energetically, there was a full moon and a lunar eclipse. And then we got another one coming. And then, like I said, my body is on the rhythm to the beat of the world and the universe right now. So a sister had that, that womanly thing kick in. So it was just double whammy. And then everything going off in the world and also just in the universe. There's other stuff and energies and a lot of things. Also some dream channelings I had earlier this week and also yesterday as well. Had some actually pretty interesting. They were pretty interesting. But like I said, I'm going to try to, put that together as soon as I can. So definitely Cards and Coffee over on Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram and everywhere else, normally Instagram you're gonna it's the Mecca. So you're gonna see everything there. Okay, so love you all, and I will see you guys in the next video for The Hour That Changes the World. And also we're gonna break down another book as well right along with this one. Especially especially going into the chapter of self-love. Yeah, self-love and everything. Watching, intercession, petitioning. Especially petitioning. And like I said, yeah, this other book is going to actually coincide with this right here. Especially to break it down in both religious and spiritual and even just your non-traditional way of living your everyday life to kind of better your perspective. Okay? So I love you all. Please be safe and take care of each other.